We're Tracy and James McCoy, and this is the Fish Slap Effect podcast. Where leaders, creators, and disruptors collide. Each week, we bring you honest conversations about business, marketing, leadership, creativity, and the bold ideas that help people stand out in a noisy world. Whether you're building a brand, growing a business, or looking for fresh inspiration, you're in the right place. Let's make a splash.
Welcome to the Fish Slap Effect, the podcast where unexpected moments, lessons, and perspectives can completely change the way you think, work, and live. I'm James.
I'm Tracy.
Welcome to the podcast. So today we're going to be diving into marketing predictions for the rest of 2026. You're somewhat halfway over, maybe more than halfway over.
Yes.
We're both on the camera. You're looking at your watch.
Yeah, just about halfway over. Yeah.
So it might be a good time to look forward to see what's going to be happening the rest of the year. Maybe successfully give some predictions. Have you ever made a prediction or had a successful prediction?
You know, sometimes my predictions aren't always spot on, but I think you definitely had a really good prediction. You want to tell me about your?
I think it was kind of dumb luck though too.
I don't know about that.
I always I'm into you're hearing and you're listening. You're always kind of sensing things around you. And I know it sounds kind of weird, but we just both, in our own different way, had a feeling like at a critical point of our business, we really wanted to have a downtown location. We really did. And we weren't too sure, and it was kind of a stretch, but as things worked out, it was kind of a good idea to get a downtown.
It was a pretty good idea. Yes.
Now, mine might have just been based on feelings or past experiences where as soon as the musicians and tattooed people and pierced people showed up, downtown's going to get cool and a coffee shop, which, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. In our case,
it did.
It did. So there you go. So we are going to be talking about marketing predictions for the rest of 2026. And thankfully, I brought my crystal, not really, plastic fishbowl full of Swedish fish that we can look into to predict the future. Like, for example, I predict we will have tacos for dinner tonight.
Except I already meal prepped that, so that wasn't a...
Well, that's kind of a prediction. I saw you were going to do it. And so anyway, we have it here. If you need a fish, EP, Jess, if you need a fish, let me know. Swedish fish, I'll throw you one. I might pull this out again to look into as we start to look into our predictions for the rest of 2026. In addition to that, we'll also answer what is the one marketing prediction I need to lean into for the rest of 2026. So we'll give our opinions to you that you can take and do what you want with and go from there. So let's get into it. As mentioned in previous episodes, we don't have sponsors yet, but we are open to it. If you'd like to sponsor the podcast, reach out to us in the comments. We'll be more than happy to chit chat about it. But until then, we want to shine a spotlight on a few of our favorite Big Catch Club members. And basically what that is those are some clients that for a lot of different reasons, and Tracy will definitely tell you who the clients that we're going to recognize is today and the reasons why, we put them in our Big Catch Club. Because to us, all of our clients are big catches, but these folks have been with us in such a way, or they've impacted us in such a way that we want to give them the designation that they are in the Big Catch Club. So that being said, Tracy, who's a new member of the Big Catch Club or the BCC? Yeah, you know me.
We'd like to welcome Cypress Cove Living to our Big Catch Club. They've been a client for over 6 years. They are some of the coolest people to work with by far, and they're true innovators. They're always willing to cast a wider net in marketing, from trying out the newest AI tools to exploring fresh growth strategies. They continually challenge themselves to stay ahead of the competition. Their enthusiasm, trust, and partnership makes them a valued member of the Big Catch Club.
Well, there you go. Cypress Cove Living, shout out. And welcome to the Big Catch Club. The rest of the members are glad that you're joining the club. So there you go. So we're going to, like I said, we're going to talk about marketing predictions for the rest of 2026. Some of the things that we're going to hit on are transitions from renting attention. I totally like that one. To earning trust and building direct relationships, short form video evolution, owned audiences will become a strategy priority. You'll have to talk about that. And what tactics are dying. So maybe right now we'll have a moment of silence for those dying tactics. Maybe I'll remember to do it when we start to talk about it. So a moment of silence. Dying tactics.
Dying tactics.
Dying tactics. Moment of silence. Shh, it's quiet time. All right, that's enough. All right, so let's go. So Tracy, tell me, marketing predictions for the rest of 2026. What do you got?
Let me think. Should I
Turn the
get the
page.
crystal ball
No, you
or
could look into the fishbowl if you want.
so we think about,
There you go. Feel the power.
instead of renting attention to earn trust, we're building direct relationships. So what does that really mean?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, think about like your first party audiences and who you build trust with. As AI powered search creates more zero click experiences and social algorithms become more predictable, marketers are going to push harder to own their customer relationships through emails, text message, communities, memberships, clubs, Facebook groups, apps, etc. So having their own first party data to be able to work from and start to retarget. So think about like even just building an email list of people who may be interested in your business and are interested in what you have to say but aren't quite ready for your service. Starting to create those segments and those audiences, I think are going to be huge moving ahead.
So it might be a little old school.
Yeah, a
Might
little
be a
bit.
little old school. Go to your e-blast, build your database. Um, send out an e-blast or two. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are afraid about the zero click searches and how are you going to show up in those generative summaries and everything. So it's kind of like how do you start to figure out who your ideal customer is and start a database to be able to use them even to further expand, like we talked about in a previous episode, using lookalike audiences and things like that. There's a lot that you can do with a really solid audience to help you create and build new audiences, even if it's just looking at their connections or whatever it might be. But if you start prioritizing growing your customer base and creating loyalty, they're going to be your biggest advocates. So that's really going to help grow business. And you're right, it is. It's kind of going back to the root of, you got to build relationships and build trust and authenticity and everything else. So, you can help stand out in a crowded space.
Awesome. There you go. Another prediction. Get out the crystal ball wherever it went. I'm feeling the vibes. Be the Swedish
And for those of
fish.
you all just listening, we have a plastic fishbowl full of Swedish fish. It's amazing.
Sorry. Yeah,
The best fishbowl that you will ever
that is it.
come into
So
contact with.
the short form video evolution. AI generated content will become invisible rather than obvious, we're thinking, for the rest of the year. In 2023 to 25, AI content stood out because people were experimenting with it. By now, in 2026, people are kind of and the winning creators, while using AI, they're using it behind the scenes. So what do you think about
So
that?
I really think that's huge. And that's a really spot on prediction because I think,
Thank you, Swedish Fish.
good job, Swedish fish. I think when we're thinking about utilizing AI tools and using it as a tool versus our content creating machine. I think that as people build better, more authenticity, understand how to use these various platforms better, and different AI tools are built into various platforms, it's going to create better integrated experiences instead of just going, oh, yeah, that's another AI video. Yeah, you're not going to have any idea that AI was used because it's just going to be a seamless transition.
I like this one thing here we were reading about and talking about earlier before the podcast started: synthetic B-roll versus and visual effects versus real footage. And I think real and authentic. I mean, I know we've kind of talked about that in a lot of different ways before, but I think it's going to be more and more important as you present those videos. And I think being real and authentic can kind of help some of you if have a little bit of phobia about doing the videos, that they won't be perfect, they won't be exactly spot on. I think when things are real and they're authentic, the audience is forgiving
Oh, agreed.
as long as they hear the message.
And I think, like, thinking about predictions and thinking, like, years down the road, I feel like we're going to have everybody's gonna take, like, 10 steps back and go, "Oh my gosh, what's real and what's not real?" It's almost scary, and I feel like people are going to look for more authentic experiences and look for things that feel real and want to connect with real people because it's going as AI is going to evolve so much, like, how do you tell the difference between something that's real and that's not real? So I think that people are really going to crave that one-to-one. connection
Yeah.
more than ever.
So I was cleaning out my desk and moving some things around last week, and I found one of our old, like one of the first little training
Oh
manuals
yeah,
that we ever made, and like I should
our
have
little
brought it with.
books.
And I opened it up, and like one of the first lines. This is like probably what, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. The first lines in it is like, "We are storytellers." And that's one of the things with the evolution of short form video, is that it says some of the research has told us that it's going to go from AI content that is just quickly just consumed and not really absorbed or valued. The transition the rest of this year is going to be towards authentic storytelling, whether it's the storytelling of your brand, of the services you offer, and supposedly, in theory, the um, the bots and the algorithms are going to recognize it more and help push it to the top of people's search.
Oh, we're already starting to see that now too, where platforms are deprioritizing some of the AI content. So, like if you've posted videos that are 100% created with AI on TikTok or on Instagram, then the algorithm is actually not going to show it as often as it will if you're using non-AI generated content. And a lot of it's more like the clickbaity type, because there are a lot of videos out there that are just like annoying, like voiceovers and things like that that are just trying to get you to interact or just sit there and watch the video, and those are the types of things that are starting to move away out of the feeds.
Okay. So far, transitioning from renting attention to earning trust and building direct relationships, um, prioritizing the growth of emails, maybe SMS loyalty programs back in the day, first party data collection, and then short form videos evolving into more storytelling, authentic versus AI generated. Anything else there? Or are we good?
No, I think that's good.
Awesome. Next prediction. Oh, I won't bother you with the crystal
Mhm.
fishbowl this time. Owned audiences. You own this audience. So what's up with that? Tell me about it.
So I think that goes back to the first piece about going from running attention to earning trust and building those direct relationships, or building those owned audiences of, various lists and people who follow you, and having a nice authentic group that are engaged and interested in your business, because that's going to become a strategic priority as you think about, again, back to the zero touch clicks and the zero click experience. The social algorithms are going to become less predictable, and marketers will push harder to own customer relationships directly through email and text message through groups and things like that. Because you think about, even with Meta, there's AI summaries of your business, or if you're searching for a certain topic,
Mhm.
when you're on mobile, you'll see an AI summary, and they're leaning more and more into AI with Meta, with Manus, and everything else. So you think about how all that's going to evolve, and how on social media, if you're searching for something, how that's going to help make recommendations just like it does on the search engines on Google and things like that. It's going to drive people where, if you've done a good job with your AEO strategy and GEO strategy, then you'll show up in those searches, and if not, then you may not show up at all. So it's just one of those things that I think is going to become more and more important, is why you can start to create those audiences that you work on creating that first party data, so you have something to work off of, but also working on your AEO.
So definitely prioritizing those email lists, loyalty programs, customers,
Yes.
communities, et cetera, et cetera.
I think it's important,
Okay.
'cause it's like when you think about, like, search engines are continuing to reward firsthand experiences and perspectives. They want that first party data, so they'll want, like, high authority websites and different, citation sites that they're going to pull their information from. So when we think about, like, if there's generic content out there versus authentic content that gets engagement, that's going to start to get a little bit more traction. So that's why you will see a decline there, and wanting to kind of continue to build those own audiences.
Okay. So those are some really solid ones. For
I think
sure, for
so.
sure.
Yeah,
Um, do you want to move into the departing tactics?
sure.
All right, dearly beloved. Just kidding. We
Mhm.
gather here today. Shout out Prince. To get through this thing called life. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the trends that are going the way of the wind.
This first one I'm betting on big time because I really think that it's gonna start to it's already I think we're at a peak and it's gonna start to happen.
I think you're wrong. I think MySpace is here to stay.
Are you
I'm
sure?
just kidding.
You
I'm
know,
kidding.
MySpace is gonna be the next big thing.
It could make a comeback. I'm
Oh,
still waiting on Vine. Come on. Come on, Vine. I'm waiting.
oh, it's too
All right.
bad.
So the first tactic, according to the Swami Tracy, looking into the crystal fishbowl that is going to go the way of the wind the rest of 2026 is
Publishing random SEO articles, social posts, and emails that are obviously AI generated that have nothing to do with your business. Well, they do have something to do with your business, but it's just basically content to crank out content
Mhm.
without strategy. So I think that is one thing that we're going to start to see start to go away. I think we're at a peak right now of AI generated content on social media where people are leaning heavily into graphics and into text and things like that, and it's like you can almost tell instantaneously that it's AI, and I think as the year progresses, we're gonna see that people start figuring out ways to better prompt their engines so it's more authentic feeling and will work better with their friends, and I remembered my it's named Finn. So,
Finn is your
on
AI is your
On
AI
ChatGPT.
assistant
Yeah, so Finn
from
is my
multiple
assistant.
episodes ago.
So
Thank you, Finn.
as
Shout
I've
out, Finn.
trained Finn, Finn's got really good at sounding like me, and I think that as people start to train their agents on AI and you give them a name and you put a lot of love into them, they're gonna help you sound better, and your content and anything you're producing with them is going to feel more authentically you.
And I'll tell you this: when I hang out with the content creators and stop them from working and make them hang out with me and goof off, we'll go through some timelines sometimes, and we can call it out. I
Mhm.
mean, just because either A, because 'cause we're creating so much content, or B, we just have so much experience looking at it, we can no, I'll leave the graphics out of it. Just the verbiage, we'll look at the verbiage, and I'm hoping the executive producer, Jess, will say, "That's right, James," when I'm done talking, but I don't know if she's gonna. Like, you'll see, like, people will forget to put what's the dash called? That
M dash will
one
be
more time, real
everywhere.
slow.
M
The
dash.
M dash, they'll forget to take that out of their content, verbiage that they post or whatnot.
Yeah, and they don't use it necessarily correctly, so it, like, totally kills the whole use of the M dash, which is
M
so sad.
dash. That should be my new password for the rest of the year. M dash
Don't hack James, he's changed his
2026.
password to M
No,
dash.
my passwords will never be that goofy, but it's true though. So if the content creators can see it, I'm sure your customers or your followers that all of a sudden see this shift from really authentic. It's all your brand posts getting a little more like formula driven.
Mhm.
They're
Well,
definitely
and
gonna notice it.
we had a previous client where it was in there part of our onboarding with that client was getting all their instructions for chat and helping feed ChatGPT onto what to use and what not to use and things like that. So, I mean, those are just little things that you can pop into your instructions to stop using M dashes. I'll put them in myself if I
So if
want
I
them.
can't use AI and I can't use the bots,
You totally can use
what am I
AI.
gonna do?
You can totally use AI. So we're not
Original
predicting it to go away. We're
Yeah,
predicting people to get better at using it and
but,
it sounding more
founder-led
authentic.
content. Hello, founder.
Hello,
Hello,
founder.
founder. We're leading our content. Customer stories, case studies,
Yes.
um, expert opinions, and proprietary data. Look at that. I'm being proprietary.
Very big
Those
word.
are some things that are taking place of the AI generated. All right. We wish you well. We'll see you on your way. We're wishing that one good luck the rest of the year as it goes away. Another one, I like this one. I like the name of this one. It was cracking me, cracking me up because a couple episodes ago you're talking about like throwing a dart at the dartboard. The post and pray social media marketing, and in all seriousness, a lot of business owners, I'm gonna create content and post before I open, or I'm gonna create content and post after I close or go home when I'm completely exhausted, not in a good space. Um, it's hard to find those moments
A hundred
where
percent.
you can actually be in a good place to create content. And that's when using a scheduler of some type can kind of help you out. You can do it all, a couple of 3 posts in downtime. But post and pray social media marketing is dying. Why is it dying, Trace? Tell me what's wrong with it.
Well, algorithms like engagement and audience retention over posting frequency.
Hmm.
So it's like there's all this content out there competing for the same attention. And if you're just posting without any kind of strategy, and going back to a previous episode, we talked a lot about how important it was to have a strategy and to know your customer and to have a goal in mind with your socials. If we're just going, oh, I hope that I can get there, and oh, maybe this will work, or, like, let's see if this does anything. You definitely want to stay consistent, but it's one of those where algorithms would prefer that you actually get engagement versus posting 20 times a week. I'm not saying post once a week and that's it, but if you're posting 3 to 5 times a week and you're consistent, or you're posting 3 times a week and you're consistently getting great engagement, but then the other posts you're putting out there are just sloppy and they don't make sense, don't do them, because if you're not getting engagement, it's just going to hurt your algorithm, because then it doesn't show that that's important.
If your business has nothing to do with donuts, maybe don't post about National Donut.
Oh, can we not? But why not? I wanna get
Yeah,
donuts for the whole office, it's so much
exactly.
fun.
Me too. One of the things that in preparing for this podcast, I found really interesting when it talked about post and pray, is this example, and it's kind of, it might freak you out, might not. Spending 30 minutes engaging with an industry conversation with another industry leader often creates more visibility than publishing 3 standalone posts. So to Tracy's point, quality versus quantity,
Yeah,
right?
engage with your local chambers, engage with people who are engaging with your posts, go back and have those conversations, because that's going to create more juice on your algorithm.
And a pro tip for you, just in case, you are busy and you are overwhelmed when it comes to stuff like that, maybe a picture of yourself or a picture of somebody on the team and 3 bullet points of what makes you a subject matter expert, or what are 3 things that you provide. That could be a real simple
Mhm.
piece that you could put up and put out there that would have a huge impact. I recommend that you still pray, never stop. But another post that you could do that's really cool. All right, so there you go. Post and pray. We wish you well. Um, Cold outreach at massive scale. That is definitely going to the founder, CEO, president, and genius of Get Fish Slap. So Trace, it's dying.
The spam, all the
Ooh, the spam. Why didn't they say that? Anyway, go ahead.
well, I think a big piece of it is just, like, all the DMs and all the kind of annoying DMs. I think people are starting to ignore that,
So all my phone calls are gonna go away
no, I
now.
think I think unfortunately all those calls are here to stay,
Ah,
but I think for, like, legitimate normal businesses, I think that, like, there's a certain level of cold calling and all that that's important for some types of businesses, but, I think some like to drop you into these messaging funnels where you just keep getting these messages on Facebook Messenger or something else, and it's all AI driven. I see that starting to go away.
so definitely the death of getting a message about an app while you're on that same app is gonna go away.
I
So
hope so. I hope they get smart enough to stop
So
doing that.
funny story,
Mhm.
because there's always a funny story. Our 11-year-old daughter was riding in the car with me, and she starts laughing. I go, "What are you laughing at, Ryan?" She's like, "I just got served an ad for an app that I'm playing the game on." How dumb is that? Shout out the 11-year-old. She's listening. Shout out.
Yeah, I know. It's like exclude people who've downloaded your app from your audiences so you stop
Wasted
wasting
all that
money.
money. It kind of goes back to, I can remember we had a client get really mad at us because we were running a digital campaign, and they said they didn't see any of the ads. And we're like, you don't want to see them because then you're paying money to see your own ads. You want
Yeah,
to see
that's
that?
always my favorite comment is like, "Well, I'm not seeing my ads." I'm like, "But do you wanna pay for yourself to see all your
You already know
ads?"
what you do. Just
I'm
kidding.
like, "Really? Okay. Well, I mean, sure. Let's add you in there and start wasting money. That sounds like fun." Um,
And I do like, that, a personalized email referencing a specific of a client is going to get you a lot more lift than 5,000 generic ones that have been AI'd M dash to death. Look at me. Uh, my B-roll phrase has now been replaced by M dash.
there you go.
We'll talk about
Well,
M
and
dash
I
more than
I
B-roll.
also think, like, just from a prediction standpoint, so I feel like with Meta and all the new things that they're trying, I feel like they're doing that to try to introduce ads in different spaces. So I'm curious to see if there's going to be like very specific types of ads in Messenger, or you can create your own background for Messenger with an advertiser or something like that coming in the future with their subscriptions that they've launched.
All right. Well, no more moments of silence, but rest in peace, trends that are going to go the way of the wind the rest of the year. We'll miss you. Thank you for your service, but
Thank
we'll
you.
miss you. So I've pulled out the often duplicated, never replicated plastic fishbowl full of Swedish fish. I'm looking into it, looking deep into the Swedish fish eyes.
You're going to predict that you're going to eat one?
No, I wish. I don't want to hear the crinkling of the paper on the mic. All right. So the make a splash question of the episode. What is the one marketing prediction I need to lean into for the rest of 2026? So Tracy, if you had to tell somebody.
The one prediction from our list of looking at how
Don't use
people
any of the dying trends.
No, so how people are going to appear in search and things like that, I think lean into learning about how your business learn about generative AI and how you show up in search results and what feeds it. So I would say that's probably going to be one of the most important things is getting to understand AEO and GEO. So answer engine optimization and generative engine optimization. Understand those two things and how to make an impact with your business so you don't fall behind as the zero click searches become the thing.
Okay.
What about you?
I really think that for the rest of the year, lean into building relationships and being your authentic self in your content. And if you no one and someone else told me this, actually the same person told me this when they gave me all the advice in my career. No one can tell your story better than you,
That's true.
not even AI. So hey, you know what? I'm whoever I am. I'm James, and I have a really great whatever store, and these are 3 things I do better than anybody else. Come by and see me. Nice little call to action, nice little picture. I think that would be huge to, like, commit to lean into the rest of the year because it's really only a few months,
Mhm.
and then kinda go from there. Maybe one of your posts a week or however you wanna do it, but I think that would be huge of building direct relationship with your customer base and reaching out to your new customers for sure.
Absolutely.
Alright, executive producer Jess, what do you think they should lean into? Nope. These just so you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one for executive producer Jess because she's just does not want to play along, and I am not happy about it at all. But it's going to be okay. I think if Jess wasn't being so humble, I think she would commit to real, not the real like real RELZ, but real authentic short form video. Maybe make a commitment to twice a month. Yeah, twice a month. Download CapCut, whatever, Canva, whatever you want to use, and make one video a month. Hey, it's delivery day. Hey, it's coronation day. We were watching Frozen last night. We're never gonna stop watching Frozen with the girls. Anyway, um, yeah, short form video, right? Waiting to hear that
It might
confirmation.
be time to let it go.
Yeah. That for spontaneous humor from my partner, that is amazing.
You're
Amazing.
welcome.
There you go. Let it go.
And with that,
Let it go. And with that, we'd like to thank you for checking out the podcast today. We appreciate it. Like, comment, share with a friend, subscribe if you want.
follow us on social.
Our social channels are up and live. So hopefully we'll have some cool things to look into that. And you can definitely check it out. We really appreciate it. You can do it. You can make it happen. We totally believe in you, right?
Yes.
For sure we do. All right. So make sure to check us out next time and keep on making a splash.